Very quick video. Most people take it for granted that thinking is something that must and should always take place within their minds, and never actually stop to think, what is the appropriate amount of thought for my life and my goals and my well-being? Let's think about this for a second. Who in the world thinks the most? And let's not jump to the conclusion that it's Einstein or a theoretical physicist. If we actually think about rate and level of thought and the level of compulsory racing thoughts, who gets the most reps in per day? I would argue that it's probably mentally ill people with things like schizophrenia or extreme panic disorders, because I've been in a place where I'm panicking, and that is when my thought is literally playing like fast forward on a VCR, just really, really fast, continuously, like a superhuman level of thought. Is the thought productive? No. Is it interesting? No. Is it repetitive? Yes. But when I think the most, it's when I'm panicking. Now, we think about who thinks the least. Who has the voice in their head running and chattering at them the least? I would argue it's probably Buddhist monks, people that train to kill off that train of thought and to use their minds as more of a mirror, something that reflects and can perceive things, but doesn't have a chattering voice inside going on all the time. So we have people that think the most, the overachievers of thinking, mentally ill people that are panicking, and at the other end, Buddhist monks who are able to focus for long periods of time, and in some cases perform superhuman feats, some of which have been proven, like them heating themselves up, regulating their body temperature. Like, we know that their brains are very special, and they generally experience more compassion, more well-being, more happiness, and they're just generally very healthy. So clearly, more thoughts does not equal better, not whatsoever. So the question is, and it's not one that I or anyone else can answer for you, what level of thought is appropriate for you? Are you aiming to be a Buddhist monk whose mind is a still crystal pool? Are you aiming to be constantly in a state of panic and going slowly insane as your thoughts spiral completely out of control? Or are you a normal person who needs to use thought as an instrument to do things like pay taxes, plan a trip, think through a business plan? But in other moments, the thought does not serve you at all. The thing is, I don't want you to come away from this thinking, oh, I'm fine. I think sometimes, I don't think sometimes. That is almost certainly not the case. Speaking for myself, I meditate every day, and yet when I try to make a video, my thoughts interrupt themselves. In the middle of me trying to communicate to you through a camera, another thought pops in and cuts me off, and so I have to start the video again and again and again, and it makes me very angry at myself. I'm like, I've been meditating for years, and I'm trying to shoot a video and speak to another person, and I can't even do that. I think so much and so compulsively, even after years of meditation, that I can't string 5 sentences together to make a video. But luckily I am right now. This time it's going okay. So look at yourself honestly and say, how much am I thinking compulsively in a way that does not serve me at all? And just know that you don't have to be a Buddhist monk, but you also don't have to be completely at the whims of this crazy voice inside your head. You can choose the level of thought, the level at which you're going to use the instrument of speaking inner monologue style thoughts to achieve your goals and your ends. But be careful to note how much of your goals are about well-being and stillness. Do you want to be able to go in a forest and feel connected to the universe? Or do you want to walk through the forest thinking and obsessing over things that happened to you in the past and things that might happen and things about yourself? Like, a lot of these thoughts are narcissistic, and you'll just be thinking about, how do I look right now when I'm walking through the forest? How much do you want that in your life versus stillness and freedom from those thoughts? This is not a rhetorical question. This is something every single person should ask themselves, and therefore not take it for granted that thoughts are just this little demon inside your head that will never leave you, that you can never escape. All of us have the responsibility, I think, to decide where on the crazy person to monk scale we're going to land, or we should land. And I think we're all different. I'm not sure if all of us should become enlightened, at least in this lifetime. But that's another topic for another video. That's all.